Reece, a good opening day win for Chelsea, but you didn't have it all your own way, did you?
No, we knew coming here it was going to be a tough game, and we knew we have to put everything in to get the 3 points, and I think we've done that today.
Do you feel you had to go up a gear when they got themselves back in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we played them in a friendly a few weeks ago and it was tough then, so we knew coming here first game of the season it was going to be tough again, and we had to dig deeper, and push up a gear, and we done that and got another 2 goals.
You say push up a gear, your first Premier League goal for Chelsea. You've had to wait, but it was well worth the wait, wasn't it? What a hit.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a good goal, and thankfully it hit the net and we got the 3 points.
As we said, your first Premier League goal for Chelsea. Might you have to wait a long time before you hit one better than that?
Yeah, no, it was obviously a good strike, but I mean, it was a great team performance and everyone's helped me get to where I've got to so far.
How much does tonight tell us about what sort of shape Chelsea are in right now? As in, it's only open day. Is it about feeling your way?
Yeah, I think as the games go on, we're only going to get stronger. I mean, there's still new players in the team, so we've got to gel and get a stronger bond and keep on improving week by week.
And those new players that you mentioned, does that give the existing players an edge, that healthy competition?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you bring high-level players in, it's going to bring a lot of competition in it, and it brings the competition up and makes everyone work harder to fight to get their place in the team.
Well done. Great goal.
Thank you.
It certainly was, wasn't it? And you fellas must know exactly what it's like to score goals like that from defence.
I have to say that the performance levels and the demands that are put on the modern day fullback are absolutely incredible. Not just to obviously defend, but to deliver assists, to deliver goals, match-winning moments, the difference sometimes in the game. And you think of the options now that England have at fullback, you know, REECE James, we've seen Lamptey, you've got obviously Kyle Walker, Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of the best players in the world. Wan-Bissaka. And he once said that no one wants to grow up to be a Gary Neville, doesn't he? There's a lot of them. He started a phenomenon.
Someone has been inspired this next generation. There's a lot. Well, 10 of the starting right-backs on show in the Premier League this weekend of the 16 were all English. There is an absolute glut. But that goal came at a crucial time as well, just 100 seconds after Brighton had equalised.
It did. I always think when a goal comes that quickly, the goal just before hasn't really sunk in for both teams in some ways, and that was the brilliant thing for Chelsea. Really unfortunate for Brighton, but I just wanted to look at the actual position he took up, really, and I always think this is a decent position for fullbacks there. Now, more often than not, we'll see fullbacks in positions sort of out here, high, wide, but Chelsea actually playing 4-2-3-1. They had width in the team, so Kante's pushed on forward, so I always think that's a great position to take up, not in terms of because he scored from there, but if a ball's lost there, it's a decent position to almost stop a counter-attack. You see Pep Guardiola at times putting full-backs in there, and then, as I said, he's just got that strike, fantastic finish, and as I said, Brighton and Chelsea just didn't have the equalising goal from Brighton to really sink in, and they just almost took it away. But it's a brilliant strike. Incredible
way to get off the mark in the Premier League, but he does have the ability to play in that central area, doesn't he? We've seen that before.
He went there, I think at times he played there for Wigan, he was on loan, I know they were a huge fan of him there, he played different positions at Wigan, but the fact, as you said, when Azpilicueta comes on, he can still go into midfield, shows that versatility, and probably why he takes up that position even though he's a fullback.
Talking of fullbacks then, how much did you enjoy the performance of Tariq Lamptey as well?
A lot, massive energy down that right-hand side, particularly I think if you're playing that 3 at the back, you need the wing-backs to be up and down, energetic, impact the play in the final third, but also recover quickly. He's got really infectious sort of side to him. I think that ultimately he'll do really well, and he's got big courage to leave Chelsea and go and do what he did and go and take a place in another Premier League team. You see what he's got in front of him there, Azpilicueta and REECE James. He's done the right thing.
I'm very pleased to say that a former guest of ours on Monday Night Football, Frank Lampard, is ready to speak to us live from the Amex. Good evening, Frank. We were just discussing the merits of that strike from REECE James. I bet that had you off your seat.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, it did. And we needed it, to be fair, because having just gone 1-1, we wanted our best in that period of the game, came out second half, and REECE has got that in him, and he's a player of such quality. When you think about some of the right-backs that are around now, the young English right-backs that we're producing, and they have that extra bit of quality, so you try and get REECE in areas where he can be a real threat for us as well. And that inside position that he turned up in, got a great strike, great quality on him, and he gets a good goal.
Great to start with a win, Frank, but how would you assess the performance from your team?
I thought we were okay. I really liked the work ethic and the discipline of the team. I think when you analyse the fact that we've been together pretty much as a team for 4 days after the international breaks, we had a lot of quarantines before that. New signings, Kai Havertz comes into us a week ago from another league, same as Timo, even though Timo's been with us for a while. I think to expect everything to click on day one is going to be very difficult. But what they did do is show a little bit of determination, I thought, today. I thought the 2 centre-backs were terrific in how they defended as well. That we may be a game that we might have dropped points in last year. And that's not the end of the story. I'm not getting excited with that on day one, but it had a little bit of determination and a bit of resilience about it, I thought.
Frank, you mentioned the new signings coming in there, and you'd almost change your system slightly. I think last season you played a lot of 4-3-3, sometimes 3 at the back, but we saw 4-2-3-1 tonight with the number 10. It was Loftus-Cheek. Is that something we can expect going forward because of the players that you've brought in, or is that just because of the players you had available tonight?
I think that one still, I don't really want to pin us down to that one. I think we have definitely the capabilities to play that way. We have probably 3 or 4 players that would probably want to play number 10 for us, but it can't always be that simple. I want us to be a bit adaptable, and I think when you look at Kai and you look at Mason and you look at Ruben and you look at Ross, we've got a lot of players, Christian Pulisic coming back, Ziyech coming back, so I have to work on that one. That's where I want us to be able to look a bit fluid. It might look like a 4-2-3-1 at times, can be a 4-3-3. I want that movement within us, and the players are still working each other out a little bit, and I thought today we weren't as fluid as we could be. I don't think we got the ball between the lines. We ended up being a little bit too high and standing up there, and we couldn't find those passes between the line. I think as we work on it, I want us to have a lot more movement up front than we did today.
Frank, Kai Havertz made his debut tonight. What did you make of him on that right-hand side?
Yeah, I liked him. I liked, it's not a game that you'd probably come away and go, here are sort of 10 vintage moments, but I thought there were moments of real quality and calmness. It's a big ask. There's a lot on his shoulders for the signing that he was, the fact that he's young, coming to a different league. He plays the game at such a pace in terms of his quality, how he receives the ball. I thought we saw a few glimpses of that. We also saw him sprint back 80 yards to make a defensive tackle or interception, having given the ball away. So everything I've seen about him in terms of his character is spot on, and his quality is going to come through. It's asking a lot for him tonight, but I thought we saw glimpses. We're going to see a lot more of him. I think he's a hugely talented young player.
Did we also see signs, Frank, of how threatening Timo Werner can be for you?
Yeah, we did, and we know that. And I love the way that Timo pops up in different areas. He's not a front man that attaches to centre back so much. So sometimes he can start from a little bit deeper, but when he goes, he goes. We saw that with the burst of pace, because I think for the penalty, the ball was slightly overplayed, and he still gets there, and he has that about him, and he's a real hunger to score goals and to be ruthless in those areas. So yeah, I thought we saw a lot of signs from Timo tonight of what he's going to bring.
Frank, you've got Liverpool next week, and obviously we know for the last couple of years Liverpool and Man City have sort of created that gap by getting 95 plus points. I mean, I think me and Gary said before at the top of the show, really, that for yourselves and Manchester United, it's probably a big ask to go and sort of win the title. Is there something in your head where you're also looking at maybe points on the board and seeing that improvement as well, really? Yeah,
certainly. I think the difficulty for all of us, but particularly ourselves, is that we found ourselves so far behind Liverpool because of how they took on the first half of last season, that you almost become in a race that's far removed from being, first. So we definitely want to close that gap for the feeling. We have to have intentions, ideas that we are going to be up and around it. I agree with you. It's a big ask to win the Premier League. Liverpool and Manchester City have worked for a while to get teams that are full of individual talent and a real team collective, and we're very much behind in that process. So I think step by step for us today is a good feeling for us, because it wasn't a great performance. I'm not going to stand here and say that, but we got the 3 points. I see what you're saying. If we can get those points early, confidence builds, more time to work with the team, players coming back from injury and the new signings settling in, and hopefully we can make big strides. I won't make any big commitments now, but we certainly want to close that gap.
We're just wondering, Frank, if there are to be any more new signings. There's been a lot of talk about potentially a new goalkeeper.
Yeah, not at the moment. Not at the moment. No, there's obviously some weeks to go till the end of the window. We've got a big squad now as well, so we have to manage that and look at how we move forward in terms of getting the right level of competition within the squad. But no news on that one at the minute.
But do you want a new keeper?
I'm very happy with Kepa. I thought Kepa today, I think with the shot, I'm not sure if he could have done any better, but I saw a bit more confidence in how he was playing. I'm happy with him. Kepa's here, he's our keeper, and I'm happy with him. If we are bringing in competition, it will be competition. That's the nature of Chelsea, so that goes throughout the squad, so we'll see.
Good to talk to you, Frank. We wish you well, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, lads. Nice speaking to you. Thank you.
There we go. Frank Lampard saying he's happy